Okay, here's the video for 7.1. What I'm going to do here is write it out to make the dry run to the midterm a bit more manageable. Remember, the midterm is written, and if you need any further guidance, there is a post in Laulima right before the last homework, or sorry, right after the last homework before the midterm that has the structure of the midterm. You should download that, take a look at it, so you can target what you're focusing on in the upcoming homeworks. This homework set up until the midterm is basically the dry run to the midterm, so you should pay special attention to these. So here we go. 7.1 is how to do this by hand, even though you'll be turning this in by Boole. Boole again is your guidance, but when you do it by hand, it is slightly different. So what I'll do is I'll lay out the truth table here, and when you guys do it, you have to put in the sentences up top. So it's A arrow B is one, and the other one is not A or B. And in Boole, you have them separated like that, right? And then you follow that same procedure as I did before. I'll take you through that again. We've all done truth tables before. The only new thing to be added to this is the connectives, the conditional and the biconditional, but all the principles remain the same. So the first step, if you remember from doing truth tables a while back, is you first list the pieces on the left side in alphabetical order. So it's capital A, capital B. The second thing you do is you figure out the total number of rows. The formula is 2 to the power of the number of pieces. In this case, there's 2 pieces, so it's 2 squared. If there were 3 pieces, it'd be 2 times 2 times 2, 2 to the third, and so on and so forth. So in this case, 2 squared is 4. You always start with the rightmost column, in this case B, and you alternate that many number of times. You do the one step, if you remember from the audio lectures, oompa, oompa. So true, false, true, false. Four times, right? Alternate. And then what you always do is you go to the one side over and you double what you previously did. So if this is the one step, you now do the two step. True, true, false, false, yeah? And then that's how you know your truth table is done. It exhausts all possible combinations on the left side. Okay, you got to do both of these above. So let's just start with the left side. It doesn't matter which one you do. You got to do both anyway. So let's just start with the left side. The main connective there is this, the arrow, and it joins the A and the B in that order. So remember, from the lecture, the truth table for arrow, for if then, for conditional, is it's only false with the TF combo in that order, right? If you're the 50th caller, then you get a trip to Vegas. The only way you make that false, the only way that promise is broken is if you're the 50th caller, but what's expected, the prize, the trip to Vegas, is not delivered upon. So the only thing making this false is the TF combo in that order. Is this the TF combo? True, true, A, B, true, true? No. So by default, it's true. Is this the TF combo in that order? TF, yes. So there, it's false. Now you go to the next one, false, true. A is false, B is true. Is that the true false combo in that order? No. So it's true. And then the last one, false, false. That's not the TF combo in that order, so it's true. Okay? I now go to the other side here. What's the main connective? The main connective is, remember, what's left over. If you chose the not, which is a good guess, it only applies to the A. That means there's other stuff there. That means it's not left over. The not cannot be that which joins everything together. That's what I mean by left over. It's the thing pulling everything together. So the thing left over is the or. It puts together the thought on the left with the thought on the right. Since it's a main connective, you always do main connective last. That means what you got to first do is start with your most embedded connectives. In this case, there's no parentheses, so you can't start with anything embedded. But there is something you didn't do yet, which is the not. The not applies just to the A. That's what you got to do first. So when you do the not, if you do this in Boole, remember, you click on it, it highlights something else. Now you're the one that is the highlighter. You got to figure out, anticipate what it applies to. The not applies to the A, so I look to the A column over here. What does it do? The not flips the value around, right? So if A is false, not makes it, sorry, if A is true, not makes it false. If A is true, not makes it false. If A is false, not makes it true. And if A is false, not makes it true, right? It's like an on-off switch. If it's off, you say not to it, it turns it on. It just flips around the value, whatever it is. Next, I move my way out, and that's the last step of the truth table algorithm, that procedure, that recipe. The OR is next, and it joins what's the main connective on the left and what's the main connective on the right. The main connective on the left is the not. I don't look at the not A. That's too much. I already did not A. It's just the not. So it's this thing right here. And then the right side I ask what's the main connective. There isn't one, it's just B. So I look to, for OR, I look to the not column right there, and then the B column on the left. And then I got to keep in mind, what's the truth table for OR? OR is true with at least one side true, right? So false true means at least one side's true. That's true. False false, I don't have at least one side true, so that makes that false. True true makes that true because at least one side's true. And then lastly, true false, it makes that true because at least one side is true. So now I'm comparing this with this. These are the two respective main connectives. And the question is, are they tautologically equivalent? TE. That's the question, yeah? Are they? Well, to answer that, look at your lecture for the definition of tautological equivalence. Again, I assume that you've listened to my audio lectures and you've read the lecture and you've looked at the picture file, tried it out. The video here is to, again, reinforce or bolster your understanding. So the idea is they're tautologically equivalent when you have matching sides point by point under the main connective. So I look under the main connective. Do they match here? Yes, true, true. Do they match there? Yes, false, false. Do they match here? Yes, true, true. Do they match here? Yes, true, true. So effectively what's that saying is these two things, even though they look different, are actually saying exactly the same thing in differing words. Because whenever one's true, the other one's true. Whenever one's false, the other one's false. They match point by point. So they are, as it were, equivalent. What kind of equivalence? What's called tautological equivalence. So you put that in bool when you do it, you should get the check there and all the rest. Okay, so this is a video example of how to do truth tables. There's one on the test. Make sure you look at the review section in La Lima about the structure of the test. All right, see you folks. Keep up with this homework. Remember, this homework and the ones building up to the midterm exam are the crucial homeworks getting you ready for the exam. So pay special attention to those.